Hello everyone, it's Ryan with Frontline Animal Removal. I figured today we'd talk about some raccoon bait. People are always asking me, what do you put in the cage for raccoons? Well, my answer is anything they like. But I got a few of my products out here and I'm going to show them to you and explain what they are and how they work and how good they work. But there's all kinds of things that we use for raccoon trapping. And some of these things work for other animals as well, such as, skunks and possums and fox and other things. So let's take a look at some of these things. Okay, the first thing we got here is a bucket of Fur King sweet paste bait. This stuff is commercially available for trappers. This stuff is really, really expensive. But because I'm a pro, I need good stuff. Does it always catch the animals? No. If the animal's not in the mood to check it out, they won't check it out. So let's look at the stuff. Here's the lid, and there it is. It kind of looks like jelly. Well, it is kind of like jelly. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's very aromatic. If you were to open the bottle of a jar of jam and compare it to the good old Fur King, you'd find that it's very similar. On here, a powerful early season sweet bait, coon, fox, rats, nutria, beaver use heavy glob per set. So basically you smear it on whatever it is you're trying to trap them, wherever you're trying to trap them. So you put it in the back of the cage, and I put it on something. You could put it on a slice of apple, you could put it on a slice of pear, you could put it on a marshmallow, a piece of bread. The idea is you put it on something and you let the aroma fill the trap, and that usually will draw the animal in. Here's another product that I use. This is a persimmon based product. Persimmon is a fruit, and well, it's just kind of like the other thing. It looks like a jelly or a jam. And both of these products smell really good. They smell so good you'd want to eat them. But I don't eat them because it's expensive and I use it for trapping. Both of these are sweet. Sometimes the raccoons prefer this. Sometimes raccoons prefer that. I also sometimes catch skunks with them too. I'll use them for skunks. The skunks seem to like this a little better. But they both operate the same. It's a sweet, fruity bait that works really good at encouraging the animals into the trap. And the key to these baits is they're very aromatic. They put off a very strong, powerful, fruity smell. And that will get the attention of an animal from far away. Another thing I have here is this. This is not a fruity, sweet bait. This is rather gross. This is Castor lure. Most animals have glands in their backside that they use to communicate with. This stuff is used primarily for beaver trapping. However, because it smells so good, raccoons like the smell of it. Even groundhogs like the smell of it. So they don't eat it, they smell it. So this is something that we usually put on a stick and then we hang it in the back of a trap. And it's a curiosity lure. And all a curiosity lure is, it creates a very interesting smell that the animal wants to go check out. So you hang this in the trap, and the animal walks into the trap to get a closer sniff. Because hey, we've all seen dogs walk up to each other and stick their noses in the rear end of the other dog. Well, most wild animals are the same way. They want to walk up behind the other animal, stick their nose in there and get a good smell because it tells them a lot about each other. And that's the point of this. The smell is very interesting. The animal wants to go smell it, and they'll get up close and smell it. And it works very good. And I usually use this in conjunction with another bait. So something sweet and fruity in the back of the trap with a little bit of this dangling, and it'll pull them right in. And the key to trapping is to have a variety of baits available. Because if you put one kind of bait in the back of the trap and you're not having success and the animal keeps showing up, you need to try something different. You always got to think about trying something different, because they may not like this one day, they may like this another day, or they may like this another day. You may end up using them all. Now, the last bait I'm going to show you does work on raccoons, but I use it primarily for skunks. Dried mealworms. These are dried mealworms. Those are primarily used in the pet industry and for feeding birds. Pets love dried up mealworms. Birds, particularly bluebirds, like dried up mealworms. So usually wherever they sell bird seed, you'll find mealworms for sale. Or at your local pet store you can buy mealworms. Skunks are natural grubbers. They love to grub in the soil. Well, mealworms are basically a kind of a grub, and they're freeze dried, and they're very they have an actual very aromatic smell. It doesn't smell yummy to me, but it definitely has a buggy kind of smell that the skunks go for. So I will typically trail the mealworms into the back of the trap to get the skunk to follow them in and get caught. And I'll usually follow up with one of these products here in the back of the trap as an extra kicker to get that skunk in. Now, I've seen all kinds of things used to catch skunks and raccoons, and none of the baits are the wrong kind to use. Pretty much, if you like the taste of something, a raccoon will like the taste of something. I have caught raccoons on donuts, and I've caught raccoons on cream sticks, and I've caught raccoons on apples, and I've caught raccoons on cat food, chicken, fried chicken, for the kernel cells, and I've caught them on marshmallows and peanut butter. Pretty much, if you want to eat it, they'll want to eat it. And skunks are very similar in that matter. They have a very similar palate. They're both omnivores. Humans are omnivores, so we both like things that are sweet, and we like things with protein. Now, a note about protein-based baits. An example of a protein-based bait would be kitty cat food. We very rarely use kitty cat food, but we keep it around as a just-in-case measure. Sometimes the raccoons will not respond to any of these, and we start to get desperate. So we might break out a can of cat food. But why don't we use cat food every time? Well, there's a problem with cat food. You catch cats because it's cat food. And many people out there that are do-it-yourself trappers will use cat food to try to catch raccoons. Sometimes the logic is, well, gee, the raccoon's getting in my cat's dish outside. I want to catch the raccoon and get rid of him, so I'll use some cat food. And it does work. The problem is you catch cats. Cats do not have a sense of sweet taste, so things such as apples and fruit, sugar, donuts do not appeal to them because they just don't taste sweet. That's why we use sweet bait. I can set 1,000, 2,000 raccoon traps all over the ground in a feral cat infested area, and I'm pretty confident I won't catch any cats. And if I do catch a cat, it's not because they're interested in the bait, they just went into the trap out of curiosity. So that is a variety of the baits that I use. And there's one other lure that I use to catch these animals, and that is I don't wash my cages. I let my cages get dirty. The reason being is when the raccoons and the skunks are in those cages, they shed and they go to the bathroom. And because raccoons and skunks have glands in the backside that put out their particular scent that makes them unique, the other raccoons in the area may go into the trap out of curiosity because they smell the presence of the other critter. We do this all the time with groundhogs. Groundhogs, we very rarely use bait because we use positive set traps, but there's been times I've actually saved groundhog poo from inside the cage. I'll sometimes freeze it, and then my next groundhog job, I'll take the frozen poo and put it into the cage to catch a groundhog, because they love to smell each other's poo. So poo is sometimes a good bait. Not so much with the raccoons and skunks, but it does work well. So if you want to do some DIY trapping, consider using sweet bait if you want to avoid catching cats. And the other thing you need to take into consideration is if one item does not work, try something different. Variety, raccoons and skunks are used to a variety of meals, so give them a variety. They roam around looking for different things to eat all the time. They eat all kinds of stuff. So these are just some of the tools that I use. They work great for me. And if you're having trouble catching that critter, give me a call. I'll bring out my special baits and catch your critter for you. Thank you.